Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. I have a very, very, very special one, another special one that needs no introduction. Of course, HJ in the building. Of course, yesterday we had Glenn Kirtley, and of course, we could have had him today, but time caught up with us. How are you doing, HJ? Welcome back to the channel, bro.
Yeah, good to be back, bro. Always good to be back.
Exactly. We have a couple of issues to discuss. We have the ESL. We have Matrian signing on a permanent deal. I expected that. I did expect it to come this very soon. Probably that is the only surprise with it. But we are going to talk about much, especially with with the ESL, because that is what I'm interested in basically as a person. And that's where we are going to start, and probably we shall talk about Matrian, as the video goes on. But first and foremost, what is the situation like in the UK about the European Super League? How have people taken it? I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it on Facebook and Twitter. But on ground, what is the situation like? What's the reaction like?
I think the reaction is what you've seen on the internet, on Twitter, everywhere. It's outrage, complete outrage. People do not want this. It's unanimous that people do not want it. But I think for me, the thing is, it was always going to happen one day. If you're going to allow these billionaires into this game, they're going to try and take over. It's fact. These billionaires want to earn more money, and this is their way of doing it. If you remember back in 1993, who founded? Let me ask you this, Cozy. Who founded the Premier League?
Yeah.
Who founded the Premier League? Do you know?
Not really, but what I've heard, what I've read about is
because it's the same thing happened in 1993. 5 teams broke away and founded the Premier League. The one who founded it was David Dein, Arsenal's David Dein. He founded the Premier League. So people are saying, look, this is the classy Arsenal, this is that. There's a lot of crooked things going on because Stan Kroenke, he's behind this. He's behind this movement with the ESL to try and get it to fruition. Florentino Perez, Joe Glazer, FSG, backed by JP Morgan, all them ones. And for me, I don't want it to happen, but I'm not surprised it's happening. And I don't think as fans, we can do anything to stop it. Because now, according to Florentino Perez's interview last night, these clubs have all signed an agreement, a contract, to say that they're going to be in this league now. There's no backing out. And if they do try and back out like Chelsea are trying to do now, then it's going to face billions and billions. That's what Florentino Perez, that's what the reports are suggesting.
Yeah, I've seen a Premier League statement today. They had a meeting with all the 14 clubs that are not involved, and they have advised all the clubs to step down immediately, as immediate as possible. So, do you think probably the 14 clubs, the 6 clubs, to come back, or probably pull out?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult for Chelsea to pull out because I'm seeing a lot of news coming out now that Abramovich decided Chelsea could not go ahead with joining the ESL, and together with the board, he gave the green light for the club to stop preparing documentation to pull out. But for me, it's like, why did they join it 2 days ago when they knew there was going to be backlash for them to then pull out? For me, it makes no sense at all. I'm not sure you think, but for me, it doesn't make any sense that they're pulling out because they knew it was going to cause backlash. They knew it was going to happen. So why did you join it in the first place then? That's what I'm thinking, and it's a very confusing one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the morning it was still looming that Manchester City and Chelsea could leave. I saw that on the Football Terrace, and I saw that on Sky as well. Now Chelsea are putting that in progress. Do you expect more clubs that to leave? I don't expect Arsenal to leave, and we shall talk about that probably in a minute. But do you expect more clubs to leave? Probably like City to
it's just
leave.
Coming out now. It's just coming out. Breaking news: Man City are trying to leave the Super League as well.
Yeah.
That's also coming out right now. Reports are suggesting that Man City are pulling out of the Super League. They've told organisers they do not want to be part of the scheme. Full details coming soon. And then City and Chelsea, because thing is, City and Chelsea never wanted to be part of this league. The only reason they went ahead with it, because the other big teams, the big think about it, the three biggest clubs in England, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, all have American ownership. They want to go ahead with this. And Man City, Chelsea, they wanted to back it up because otherwise they would be left behind because it's billions and billions of pounds. And apparently now, after all the backlash, they want to back out now, which seems so strange to me because if you remember 1 year ago, they did the same thing with Project Big Picture. They tried to do the same thing and there was so much backlash. So why did Man City, Chelsea sign this knowing there was going to be backlash and now they're backing out of it? It seems so strange to me. But Florentino Perez is doing another interview tonight, so it'll be very interesting to see what he has to say.
Yeah, exactly, because the implications of these clubs pulling out will be very, very, very interesting to hear what because it's a commitment that is planned for 22, 23 years now. So
it's they're saying they could start it this August.
Yeah, starting in August, but it would the contract signed would run until 22 years, for 22 years or 23 years.
Yeah,
but if City and Chelsea leave, I'm looking at it as like there is a possibility of this league collapsing, because if City and Chelsea leave, then you probably could have Arsenal or Tottenham leave. Then because the fewer teams there, the more it makes sense. I mean, okay, the less it makes sense. The fewer teams they have, the less it makes sense.
Yeah, I think that is the right thing, but I think if Man City, Chelsea do leave, it could cause a domino effect because, to try and get maybe the other clubs to leave, but it's going to be very difficult. I think the last clubs to pull out would be the American owners because they wanted this. So they would be the last to pull out: Arsenal, United, Liverpool, and now Chelsea are rioting as we speak outside their ground. And now Chelsea look like they are taking action on it, but it's going to be interesting to see how these next few weeks pan out.
Exactly. I still want to hear a lot of it, and I still want to see what happens in the next 48 hours, or because UEFA said they're going to ban these clubs from this season's competition, the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Europa League. Do you think that's going to happen? Because they said by Friday we shall know. Do you think that that's going to happen?
Again, I don't think so. It'd be interesting to see. I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I'm still looking at it as something that is very, very hard, to accomplish. Anyway, let's first get into the news. Today it's been reported. I think I've been reading a couple of sites. Matt Ryan signing on on a permanent basis. What do you have to say about that? Probably, do you think Arsenal are going for the right move? Is it the right goalkeeper, or just we are signing him because we got him on a loan deal in January?
I think it's the cheap option, and I think for backup, he's a good player. We've seen him for 2 games. He looks good. For a backup goalkeeper, Runarsson obviously wasn't going to be the answer. We sold Martinez, so we needed a backup goalkeeper, and Matt Ryan's available on a free deal. So why not? Cheap deal. He's not going to be in a lot of money. He's an Arsenal fan. He'll give a lot for the club, on and off the pitch. So for me, it seems like a decent deal to do.
Yeah, it's a decent deal, but my question is, if Leno gets injured for 10 games, is he that reliable? Do you see him as that reliable goalkeeper? Probably like United have Henderson and De Gea, both decent goalkeepers. Do you see him as that reliable goalkeeper that can take you 10 games, in a Premier League season, probably, and Europa League?
Possibly, yeah, I think so, because he's played first team Premier League football for Brighton. Yes, I know Brighton aren't the greatest team, but they don't have a good defense. So I think for a few games, but goalkeepers don't really get injured a lot, so I think it's good.
Bakeries Kosi says Chelsea fans are out of the ESL. I think their fans are protesting. Is it confirmed? I don't think it's confirmed yet. But
no, it's just rumors going around. BBC have reported it. Like BBC is like one of the biggest in England. They're reporting it, and everyone else is following.
So, we wait to see what happens actually. And the reason as to why I wanted, a fan opinion from the UK, basically, I want to understand how detrimental could this be to the to the Premier League, especially in England, because that's the local league there. However much all of us are interested in it, we love the Premier League. We know it's the it's the best league we have ever watched as fans of football. But how detrimental could it be if the Super League comes around? How detrimental could it be to your local league?
I think it will be, because it depends, because the Premier League won't allow it. So if we do break away from the Premier League, then it'll be having a big effect on our league in terms of the big six aren't going to be in there. TV rights, sponsor deals going to be cut. So it's going to reduce the other clubs' finances. And then it's just going to be a whole monopoly of these clubs joining this league. And then other teams will get left behind. And that's how it's going to work. If I don't see a situation in which we can stay in the Premier League and the Super League, I don't think that's possible for me. So it'll be either or. But yeah, we'll just have to see. It's a very difficult one.
Yeah, and of course I thought about it in that in that light, that if these clubs may probably go to go to the Super League, then you have this revenue because they are the earning clubs. Then they go to they go away to the Super League. Money is less because nobody's going to pay huge amounts to cover these teams. But again, UEFA is talking about kicking these teams out of the Premier League as a solution. Do you think that is a viable solution? Probably.
I don't think legally they can do that. Kick them out of the World Cup, kick them out of Euros. I don't think that is allowed, and I think that's maybe just a ploy by UEFA to scare the Super League. But Florentino Perez, this is a Super League's been in the works for the last 15 years. They know what they're talking about. This is why this contract's been binded up. So, which surprises me, because why are Chelsea, Man City pulling out when they knew backlash was coming? For me, it makes no sense. And now it's coming out that Atletico Madrid are leaving the Super League as well. This is breaking as well right now. Atletico Madrid are set to leave the Super League.
I mean, these clubs leaving, there's a big question there, because yesterday I was watching Sky, and it was reported that all the clubs involved expected a lot of opposition, and they were ready. Is it the fans? Is it the fire on social media? Is it the players? Because I've seen Marcus Rashford condemning it. I've seen players like Bruno, of course, coming out and saying you can't buy dreams, and dreams can't be bought. So why do you think they're dropping out? Is it the pressure? Is it have they reconsidered?
Backlash. It's, so many Chelsea fans are protesting. It's because of the backlash, which makes me to believe that why did they join it in the first place when we all knew a Super League? These guys all knew a Super League would cause backlash, but for some reason they're pulling out because of the backlash. When they knew the backlash was coming, if the backlash they knew it was coming, why did they sign up to it in the first place? Which just confuses me. Why did they sign up to it when they knew this was going to happen? It's really confusing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, let's just wait for Florentino Perez, because it's going to be very, 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 very interesting to watch what he says. He's been so confident in the past 48, 72 hours. Every statement he said, he's been not backing down. He said all the threats from FIFA, UEFA, and the leagues are just spineless. They can't do anything, and he has rest assured all the clubs that they shouldn't leave. They're either in or out. Today, I think the FIFA president spoke, and he said you're either in or you're either out. And I think could that be probably one of the reasons why these clubs are reconsidering, because FIFA is the overall governing body in football. If they take action, then you have to take legal steps, because that's the ceiling. That's the ceiling in football. If they take action against you, then your only resort is is in the courts of law. So probably, do you think that could have also forced City, Chelsea, and Atletico to reconsider?
Possibly. I think the sorts of things that UEFA and FIFA have come out with by saying they're going to ban this, they're going to do this, they're going to do this, it's forced them to rethink about this and think that, look, because Man City, remember, they were going to get a 2-year ban by UEFA because of the breach of FFP, so they're in the mud anyway because of it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're thinking, this isn't good. Maybe this isn't as good as it seems. It's very interesting to see what will develop now. Will they? Because reports in the last 5 minutes have come out that Man City, Chelsea, Atletico want to leave. What's going to happen? Because apparently, according to Florentino Perez, if any of those clubs try to leave, then it will cause, they're going to have to pay billions, and because it's a contract. Now, another situation could be that sorry about that. Maybe could be like, what was I going to say? They're making all these good vibes just to, keep the backlash away, maybe.
Yeah, man. It's all very, very fascinating, and it's one of these, by the most controversial stories I am loving to follow. I want it to end at some point in time. Want it to end, but I'm also loving the heat around it. I'm also loving how it is evolving. Slowly by slowly. But just to just to know, is there any kind of discrimination, segregation from of fans, or of fans from these clubs, by fans of other clubs that are not involved in the UK, or it is we are one, we are fighting for football?
Yeah, that's what it seems like for me. That's the sort of consensus that's been reached in England. That yeah, it's very interesting to see what will happen.
Yeah. Anyway, first and foremost, now let's just go down to Kroenke and Arsenal. If we played in the Super League and we don't back up, we don't get out of it, would you continue supporting Arsenal? Would you do our predicted lineups? Would you continue doing our match reviews and the watch alongs and everything? Probably.
No, look, regardless of whatever league we're in, I support Arsenal, and I'm going to watch Arsenal, whether that's Super League, Premier League, Championship, Europa League, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. I watch Arsenal. I support Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't support the Super League, but I support Arsenal, and that's what I'm going to watch. That's the simple answer.
You have had so many people saying, I would leave this channel if my team doesn't get out of it. I would leave my channel if I would sell my channel. I would do this and do that. Yeah, I've had so many fans. Of course, it's coming from the frustration, but at the end of the day, you've got to look at the big picture, because at times, as fans, there is nothing you're going to do. You're just going to succumb to it and follow it. Truth is out, I'll still do Arsenal content on a daily basis, probably in the summer. But Kroenke said he wanted to make, because I don't know whether he was just trying to justify the league, but he said he was going to make Arsenal one of the biggest clubs in Europe, simply by joining this league. And Mikel has been promising us an unprecedented summer, a very big summer, and things like that. Do you think the two are correlated? Do you think he had seen the prospect of of a European Super League, and probably things like that?
Yeah, I think that's why he bought the club. That's why we got the new stadium. That's why he paid the stadium off. That's why we took the government grant, because he thinks that we're going to get all this money from the Super League, and that's all going to be paid off, because he's going to take the money that he's put in for the stadium that he's paid off, and he's going to take it out of the Super League revenue and take it into his own back pocket. That's the plan I think he's going to do. And that's the reason why Glazer, the Tottenham owners, the Liverpool owners, why they all bought the club. They've all been told that some sort of Super League is going to happen. I still do think it's going to happen.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just don't want Arsenal to be associated, but the moment I saw that there was big amounts of money, involved, and then I thought of Kroenke, I just knew we were involved. And at the end of the day, we were second on the list. We were second on that sheet, and I just had to live with it. The good thing, United was there, Tottenham was there, and all the other clubs were there. I know Tottenham will back out at some point in time. If Chelsea, Atletico, and City get out, the next club will be Tottenham Hotspur. I'm very confident Tottenham will back out, but I'm not confident Arsenal will back out. But if we got that money, because it's around 400 million pounds, do you think then Kroenke would invest in us, probably in the summer, and get us to the quality we must be at.
Yeah, I've just seen Liverpool also trying withdrawing as well.
They're also trying to rethink.
This is what I've just seen. Liverpool trying to withdraw. I think again, it'll be very interesting to see what Florentino Perez has to say tonight in his interview. But with Kroenke, will he spend? He never has. And I think any money that we do spend will come out the revenue of the Super League. And I think that's how he wants to try and take Arsenal to the top. Whereas I don't think he'll work because other teams will improve as well as us.
Yeah, man. I know you have less time, but in the last 3 minutes, let me just ask you this, and probably we can close the show. But I've seen it. I've seen it around from fans trying to justify that United can be there, City can be there, but Arsenal cannot be there. Of course, especially United and West Ham fans taking a dig at us because we are in ninth place and they have had this tremendous season, and people are making it to look bad because Arsenal is there. What do you think about? What do you talk about that? I know we have had 4 bad years, out of European competitions and European serious football, but what do you think about that? Some clubs getting onto us because we are there and we have been, so poor this season and probably last season.
Yeah, I think people are saying so many more teams have been better than us. We're 9th. Why are we part of a Super League? I think that's a valid point because we've not been good enough. And I think I agree with a lot of people that say that because a lot of more teams deserve to be in the Super League than us, like Leicester, West Ham this season, other teams in Europe that have made the Champions League ahead of us. So it makes sense to me that why people would say that and why it's caused so much backlash towards Arsenal, even Tottenham, maybe even Man United. So yeah.
Yeah, man. But why I think it's unfair on one side is you're looking at West Ham, who have had almost all their life, they have had worse seasons than Arsenal. You're looking at how many times have we finished on top of United in the last 8 years? I think you can count them. You can count them around 4 or 5. And how many times? Of course, Leicester City. Of course, I can give them that ever since I think they won the title, they've been so good. They've been improving day in, day out. Every season they have had something. They've been better than us. But at the end of the day, what about Tottenham? When did they last win a trophy? Seriously,
Yeah.
when did they last win a trophy? So
no, but it's the owners, isn't it? I think it was the owners, and because they're American and they got a new stadium, so it's attractable.
Yeah, I think we should focus on the real thing. It's the owners that are trying to it's that we are there because of the owner, not because Arsenal as a club has unanimously voted to go into into that. It's Kroenke, and we all know Kroenke. When he decides to go in there, it's going to be Kroenke. But if and this is funny because if we went there and stayed there in the Super League, there was no chance for him selling. There were rumors that he could have talks with Dangote in the summer. Have you heard that?
I've heard that, yeah. But if I think if the Super League collapses, he could sell this summer because he came for the Super League. If it collapses, he could sell to Dangote.
He could sell Dangote. I'm very conscious of the time you gave me. So Dangote comes in. Do we now accept him to take 50%, or do do we let him have the 100% of the club? Because one of the solutions is you go back to the ownership of these clubs and make sure that the fans have a say. I don't know how much.
Germany, 51% owned by the fans. I think that should happen here. I think if Dangote was to come in, he should own 49%. The fans should own 51%. So fans have the sort of power. And more news coming out that Man United and Juventus also want to leave. So again, I'm not sure what's going on with this.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much. I really wanted that opinion from a fan in in the UK. Thank you so much for giving me that light.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much, bro. So guys, that has been AJ. Of course, we really wanted to know what's going to happen, with these clubs, especially what's the, what is happening in the UK. I wanted to get a picture. We've got the picture. What is happening in the UK? It is football joining together, fans joining together to fight for football. A couple of clubs want to pull out: United, City, Chelsea. It just says they want to pull out. Breaking news is coming in. They want to pull out. Of course, I'll be keeping you posted and updated. Arsenal is is still very, very strong in their position. They do not want to pull out because we are the motivators, because they're saying Kroenke has been working so closely with Fiorentino Perez to make this happen. So probably we should wait and see what's going to happen. I'll come back with I think I'll upload a transfer video for you guys. Seriously, there was no way I was going to do this as a transfer video throughout, because there's a lot going on in football, especially when it comes to the ESO. But that's what's happening. United want to pull out. Atletico want to pull out. Juve want to pull out. It looks like 5 out of the 12 proprietors and founding clubs want to pull out. That is the most interesting part of it. And I think I should be coming with that debate in just 1 hour after confirming those stories. Why not? Let me just sign out for now, and I'll come back later. We talk about more about that.